Sandra and Mark are going to be reading from one of my plays in this collection called Corruption. And the play is called Blackmail. And they're going to be reading from Act 2, Scene 6. And I'll give you a synopsis of Blackmail, very brief synopsis of the play. It's Washington, D.C. There's a Washington, D.C. intern named Kyla Rhodes. She has disappeared. She was in an affair with Ohio Congressman Bruce Whitson, who is suspected of conspiring with organized crime to have her murdered. Media reaction threatens Bruce's re-election and his son Jordan's campaign for the Ohio House of Representatives. Father and son clash, husband and wife develop a strategy as political expediency vies with morality in this play about love, crime, and politics.
Wow.
This is now then Scene 6, and we are in Mark's Washington, D.C. condo.
I must have left a dozen messages.
I was on my way here. I didn't want to talk on the phone or exchange emails. Frank Taba didn't kill Kyla, of course. He confessed so his wife could get $1 million.
That's his wife's trumped-up story for the media. I read it and watched her on TV. She doesn't want to believe he's a double murderer.
But what she says makes sense. He expected to be sentenced to death for killing the policeman. If someone told him he could get $1 million for his wife and child by confessing to another murder, he had everything to gain and nothing to lose. His wife wants to return the money, so his soul will be damned to hell for confessing to a murder he didn't commit.
The destination of Frank Taba's soul isn't my problem or yours, and my guess is that Frank's wife is very happy to have $1 million.
She's trying to return it.
She can't return it.
How do you know?
They're drug dealers, criminals. She can't return that money.
You know, you're the only one who seems to know where the money came from. The police don't.
No, I didn't say I know. I'm putting two and two together. Frank Taba was a drug dealer. It stands to reason he had some kind of a deal with them.
She suddenly found it in her bank account, $1 million. No idea how it got there.
It got there because a drug dealer who owed Frank money decided to pay it back. Those guys have contacts in banks that go straight to the top.
A drug dealer wouldn't repay a debt to a man who was about to be executed.
Drug dealers have their own codes of honor. If Frank arranged to have the debt settled that way for the sake of his wife and his son, who could blame him? I mean, the case is closed. Let it go, my friend. You really can't. It's over.
I would have done what she did.
What?
Consequences be damned. Along with logic, reason, morality, and all the rest. In her place, I would have done what Kyla did to keep you.
You would not.
What did she do?
She didn't do anything.
Then how do you know what I would not do?
All right. What?
If you don't know what...
The man confessed. Let's move on.
You know, let's clear the air, then move on. You're selling our cottage on the island to pay a debt.
Oh, don't go there, baby.
I didn't. You did. We need to have it out. She was pregnant. She tried to trap you into marrying her.
That's ridiculous.
She wouldn't be the first woman in history to try that trick, and she won't be the last.
Just leave it alone. You're here. We're together. You've had your fling. I mean, all right, maybe that's a good thing. You can start over.
Not unless the slate is clean.
I have less than 5 months before the primary to do heavy damage control and the negative fallout from this thing. I need you to be with me.
I'm talking about it because I'm with you. All the way, if you tell me what happened.
You know what happened. I had an affair with a woman who was murdered by a drug dealer.
Oh, rebel with me, and I'll campaign with you. I'll do everything I can. Organize rallies, fundraisers. I'll I'll stand in for you at those ones you can't attend. I'll give talks to women's groups, whatever you need. There's no evidence against you, but people are suspicious. You having me on the stump with you could turn this tide in this election.
Look, Frank Tabla said he killed Kyla. What do you want?
I want the man I married. I want back the man I would have killed for. The man who has earned the right to represent a congressional district that is named in his honor.
Hey, don't.
You can trust me.
There's nothing to talk about on this.
Take your time. I'll fix us a drink. Gin and tonic?
Megan fixes and serves drinks.
Gin and tonic, a double. Me too. So first she told you she was in love with you. She probably said she couldn't live without you. Then what happened? There's no hurry.
They sip their drinks, Bruce finishes his, makes another.
Then what happened, Bruce?
When she told me she was in love with me, I said we should stop seeing each other because there can't be anything permanent between us. I said it as plain as I'm saying it now.
And she said it was all right. She would go on sleeping with you whether you married her or not.
And she said it was all right. She would go on saying me that way. I mean, yes.
I have to be with you, Bruce.
Those exact words, yes. I thought we had an agreement.
Of course you would.
Stupid of me.
Not stupid, selfish. You wanted to go on sleeping with her.
All right, selfish, but I never told her I would leave you and never wanted to.
You could have walked out. She couldn't.
Oh, sure she could. She could have done whatever she wanted.
No, she couldn't live without you. That's a form of insanity. No one has a choice about whether or not to be insane. So she stopped taking the pill and she got pregnant.
I offered to pay for an abortion.
But she didn't want an abortion.
I said I would give her an additional $20,000. I would pay for the abortion, give her $20,000, and we never would see each other again.
And she slapped her face.
No.
Well, I would have. That was an insult.
Look, I upped it to $30,000. I would borrow money, refinance my house, anything.
She didn't throw something at you? She didn't spit in your face?
No.
Huh. Slut. Right. So she said you should divorce me and marry her or she would have the baby and tell the world.
She would destroy me. My career, my family. She didn't care that my political career would be over, that my son's political career would never get off the ground. She didn't care as long as we were married. She had gone crazy. You're right. She was insane. But she couldn't be committed to a mental hospital because destroying my life and hers doesn't fall within the legal definition of insanity. No, if she had threatened to jump off a bridge, she would have been considered legally insane, could have been committed. If there's no law against what she did, she would have been allowed to destroy me because I had consensual sex with her and then trusted her. Okay. I'm to blame for trusting her. I was stupid.
And selfish.
All right. Stupid and selfish, and I was willing to pay for it in dollars, but that's all. I wasn't willing to pay for it by letting her destroy my life and the lives of my wife and my son.
Good for you.
No, save the sarcasm until after I've had a few more drinks.
It wasn't sarcasm. You offered her a way out, a generous offering. A rational woman would have taken it. Obsessed with you, she wasn't rational, so she did what she had to do. And you did what she forced you to do. Neither of you could have made a different choice.
I could have let her play out her obsession and destroy me.
And your family?
I couldn't.
Of course not.
You're with me?
Where else would I be?
You know what I did.
I know what you did.
And you
Yes.
don't mean it.
Look at me. Do I mean it?
I mean, part of me says I don't deserve you.
It's not the part you take seriously, sweetheart, so don't let its neat little voice worry you. Humility, unlike a restless libido, isn't part of your DNA.
Okay, man.
How did they, I mean, you weren't there when they...
I don't know details. Joe Soren set it up with his father. The deal was, if I could stop the ethics committee's vote for expulsion, they would put up the money to pay someone like Frank Tava to confess. If I tried to, but failed to turn enough votes, they would make the arrangements, but I would have to find the money myself. So I sold the house on Little Bass Island.
I thought gangsters get rid of people who fail.
Only if they renege on their end of the deal. Al Sorrentini went into it knowing there was almost no chance of saving Joe's seat, but he wanted someone to speak up publicly for him, so it would be the congressional record. I kept my end of the bargain.
You always do.
I'll drop out of the race. We'll move to Arizona, New Mexico, or further, Puerto Rico.
We're not running away, Congressman Whitson. You will be reelected.
Sure, I know how to win. Tactics, strategy, I can get the best people to run a super smart campaign and I can win, but...
You win on your record, not just on tactics and strategy.
Yeah, does my record matter?
Say,
I mean, should I be in Congress? How can I make laws when I...
go ahead. Say it. Then you can run for re-election. Say it out loud, here, with me. Say it and be done with it.
Can I be a member of the United States House of Representatives when I conspired to have a woman murdered?
Blackmail is a far lesser crime than murder, but it is a crime. And she would have gotten away with it. He destroyed your career, Gordon's career, our family, and to what end? If you drop out of the race, you let her win out of some useless need to repent. Characters in Greek tragedies are defeated by their gods. We aren't. We're going to campaign together, Bruce. We're going to do it.
Man, I don't deserve you. I mean, no, I'm not modest enough to mean that, but it's true. I love you, Peggy. That's not only true, I mean it.
Enough for me to live in Washington.
You hate Washington.
It might look different now.
You're on a tenure track at Akron East.
The chairman of the Georgetown University English Department and I are good friends. I'll talk to her about a teaching appointment.
Good. Wonderful.
Yeah, you don't have to pretend to mean that.
No, I'll just need to get used to that.
Let's start saying what we mean instead of what we think we should mean, or calculating what would work. They shake hands, look at each other for a moment, move in to a long, passionate kiss, and slowly disengage.
You know, our son is going to support Ted Lawton.
He won't do that, Bruce.
He's holding a press conference on Thursday. He doesn't believe the Frank Tava confession.
You wouldn't have much respect for him if he did.
You should tell him the truth.
Oh, I don't think so.
Our son, for God's sake.
Let him come to it in his own good time.
I don't want to lose him. But if he endorses Lawton, I'll never speak to him again.
You couldn't endorse Ted and run for assembly.
Yeah, well, I'm going to drop out of the race.
He's a political animal like his father.
Yeah, but he's fallen for Kyla's sister. They're in league against me.
Outsmart me. How? Let's go to dinner and brainstorm.
End of scene.